Don't lose your way. Your mind, we have to be as one.
What is up, YouTube? Warstorm here, coming at you guys with another deck profile today. So this deck profile is going to be a little bit different than sometimes things you guys are used to. It's basically going to be a more meta-oriented deck profile. I know a lot of times you guys see a lot of, more rogue-based lists and stuff like that, and typically I lean that direction, as the channel. However, I decided I wanted to bring you guys something a little bit more meta, and this is kind of a pure Metalfoes list. I'm hoping, cross my fingers, I'll be able to go to the Houston Regional, a week from Saturday. No guarantees, but I thought I'd at least go ahead and show you my pure, quote-unquote, in quotations, Metalfoes list. And as I said, it's gonna be a little different because obviously, this is not, this is an in meta oriented build, so it's not exactly going to be tons of explaining. So for the Metalfoes, for the scale ones, we are playing the 3 gold drive and the 3 silvers. Pretty standard in Metalfoes. Most of the time you play 3 of the standard Metalfoes, not too much to say. Silver being a level 3 helps a lot because it helps you to make your rank 3 and your level 8 synchro plays a little more live. Gold driver is just another scale. Sometimes it does come up making an exceed with them, or making an exceed with them, or making like a level 9 synchro play, but most of the time just there to be a scale and be a name. For the 8s, we have the 3 full flames, the 3 Steelins, and the 3 Bismugiers. Not too much to talk about these. Volflame's the one you're typically going to bring out of deck with counter. Steelin's just the other scale 8. Bismugier, I'm going to go a little bit more into detail. Bismugier's effect's basically sort of like a Scarm, where it's popped, whether it's in the Pendulum Zone or on the field. In the end phase, it allows you to add a Metalfoes from your deck to your hand. It makes your full Metalfoes fusion live, and it rounds out your Metalfoes names at 8. It might seem a little weird that I'm playing more 8s than 1s, but this is kind of like just how the most lists I've seen are built. So it comes out to 15 Metalfoes monsters. Now for some of the other engines, like obviously 3 Gofu. I know a lot of builds are playing Cleese, but I think the Cleese are pretty damn gimmicky in my opinion. I don't feel like, while they're not as dead as they were because Mithrilium and Alcahest are cards, I just feel like Gofu is the overall better card. I like Gofu a lot. It allows you to, the tokens it spits give you free, gives you free pops, and there can be used as fusion material for Alcahest. So yeah, really like Gofu quite a bit. And the other engine I'm playing is the Speedroids, the Terratop and the Takatomborg. So this engine right here is like a kind of like an engine I've been testing. I really like it a lot. It allows you to go to rank 3s. Well, you might think it might conflict with this guy a little bit. It really doesn't. Because a lot of times you can make something like Omega with Gofu, or make like something like Breaksword and have it clear itself off the field. If you do have both this and Gofu in hand, you can just special Gofu, then normal summon this. I mean, unless you have a Bumbaku in hand, you really don't need to use your normal summon anyways in this deck. So I feel like this is one of the better engines you could be playing. So yeah, I like it a lot, quite a bit. Then of course it wouldn't be a Metalfoes list without the 3 Bumbakus and the 1 Kirin. Bumbaku makes this guy a little less dead. If you do draw him, you can still special summon him. I don't run Nikotama because I feel like the card it's not bad. It's just I don't really find a lot of instances where I need to search a low scale. Granted, there are more high than low scales in this deck. Kirin is a low scale, and Kirin is just so good. I feel like you obviously have to run the Bumbakus to search it, and the Bumbakus do make good rank 3s. Then the 1 Luster Pendulum card's absolutely amazing. This deck, obviously you're playing this, you're running Mister in your extra deck. But it combos really well with your Metalfoes scales because you can just stack the extra deck so quickly. The card's still insane. Love the card a lot. Then for the last 3 monsters, we have 3 copies of Archfiend Eccentric. This might seem like a lot, but this card opens up so many plays for the deck. It's ridiculously good. If you do happen to have an odd hand with weird scales in hand, you can use her. Her effect turn 1 does come up because you'll be able to pop your own combination with her to get a search. And it just helps you to play around so many established boards that might give a lot of Pendulum decks problems. 3 is pretty standard. I feel like you need 3 because you need to play around this field. Now for the spell cards, we have the 1 Upstart Goblin. This is for consistency. I feel like Upstart is one of the better cards, just filler cards in the deck. The 2 painful decisions. I only run 2 painful decisions because I feel like I've never really liked playing 3 because it's a hard once per turn. You don't want multiple copies clogging up your hand. I want this to be as consistent as possible. The 2 MSTs. MST is amazing in this deck for 2 reasons. One, you can pop your own combination with it, obviously. But the second reason is you need MST main deck as long as Anti-Spell Fragrance stays at 3. Any Pendulum deck, you main deck MSTs. I don't run Twin Sisters because there's just not a lot of cards I want to discard. So I feel like MST is a lot better in this deck. Now for the Metalfoes targets, we have the 4 targets here. I've seen varying ratios on these 2, which is combination and full Metalfoes fusion. You could run more than one. Personally, if you were to run more, I would recommend fusion before combination, because combination is not necessarily a card you want to draw. Full Metalfoes fusion is there's times where you would want to draw this, but overall, this has been a pretty standard ratio, and because Mithrilium's a card, you can run a really low count because you can constantly cycle them back into the deck. So yeah, really good cards. Like them a lot. Wouldn't really change those ratios. They've been about perfect. Then for the last main deck trap, we have the 1 Vanity's Emptiness. Everyone saw in YCS Botchum. This card is still amazing. If you make this with an established board, there's not a lot your opponent can do. It's just probably the best trap card in the game. I highly recommend main decking pretty much everything right now. Now for the extra deck, we have the 1 Full Metalfoes Alcahest. Alcahest is... There's some builds that run 2, and you can run 2. It does come up sometimes in the mirror match, but I feel like Alcahest is fine at 1. Mithrilium's a card. You can easily recycle it, and it's being able to snatch monsters and like on your opponent's turn really is really good. Then we have the 3 copies of Metalfoes Mithrilium. This might seem like a little bit overkill, but I like having 3. It allows you to play around back row quite efficiently, and the fact that she floats cards like Solemn Strike, she plays around them pretty efficiently. And she's really good turn 1 because you can reuse your Metalfoes scales and cycle back resources into the deck. Pretty good card. It's also one of the better cards to make. It's good in so many situations. It's good going second. It's good going first because and it's just a really good card. The 1 copy of Metalfoes or Calc. Calc is still really good. I mean, you could get away with maybe the second one, but usually you only need 1. Typically, if you drop this, you're going for game anyways. The second one doesn't really come up that much, so I kind of like it at 1. Then we have the 1 Crimsonite. This will probably be an Adamantite in the future. For now, it's kind of filler. The main reason you run Adamantite, or in case Crimsonite, is because they allow you sometimes when you suck up a monster with Alcahest, it's not a Pendulum monster, and it's not a normal monster. So then it gives you another fusion to make. Personally, I would recommend Alcahest over this, but I don't have the Adamantite over that, but it's really up to you. The Synchros, we have the 1 Scrap Dragon. Might seem odd them playing this and Ignister in this list, obviously because of Luster. But Scrap Dragon, sometimes you don't want to use your 1 Ignister to clear stuff like Anti-Spell Fragrance off the field. So I kind of like having Scrap Dragon in here personally. The 1 Sideframe Learned Omega, and in this build, and since I'm running Terratop and Gofu, this card's really good because it can clear itself off the field with its hand banish effect, and then on top, then you can special summon the Terratop and continue on. It's really good in that situation, and that's the main reason it is in here. If you are wanting to run both Gofu and Terratop, you definitely need an Omega in your extra deck. Then the 1 copy of Ignister, and obviously Ignister is one of the best Pendulum just generic Pendulum monsters or Pendulum support cards we have. Being able to pop opponent's scaled and spin it back is always good, and it helps you to out turn 1 Anti-Spell Fragrance, which is important. Then for the last synchro in the extra deck, we have the 1 copy of Vermilion Dragon Mech. The reason I have both this and Scrap Dragon is there's times where you do have Gold Driver in your hand, and you'll have Gofu, and you won't have access to level 3, even though you do play, I believe, 10 of them, because between the Terratops and everything else. So I kind of like having the mech in here as an option, just in case. Now for the Exceeds, we of course have the Utopia combo. These are the only 2 rank 4s I run. I don't think any others are really necessary. Metalfoes don't have the easiest time getting over big monsters, so that's why these are in here. And I don't feel like you need Castell, Dweller, etc. because you just don't have as easy access to them as you do the rank 3s. Then for the rank 3s, we have the 1 Totem Bird. Totem Bird is an amazing card turn 1. If you slap this on the board with an Alcahest or a Kirin, your opponent's going to have a bad time because this negates spells. So this puts your opponent, especially a lot of decks running all the draw cards between like Pod Desires, Lord of Darkness. Cards, spells are just everywhere, and I feel like this card is really, really good as a turn 1 play. the one for the last two cards of the extra deck, we have the one Grand Pulse and the one Phantom Knight's Breaksword. Now you might say, Aura, right? Were you running both of these? Well, Breaksword they're good in different situations. Grand Pulse is obviously better going first because much like the eccentric play, sometimes you won't have a proper scale in hand, so you need to pop a combination to search it, and that's where Grand Pulse comes in. It's better turn 1 obviously than Breaksword. Breaksword is a little bit better obviously going second because it can clear itself off the field, so then you can special summon your Gofu. And obviously I feel like both these cards, I feel like you should play both because they have different uses. So in the comment section down below, let me know what you guys think of my Metalfoes list and what would you change, what should I add in. And anyway guys, as always, I thank you guys for watching. So Orstorm, signing out.